I will do it.
Oh, there's a slight breeze, but it's a gorgeous, windy day in 031s and KZN. Coming to you live from the Beverly Hills Hotel. Look at that view, stunning. What a fabulous place to be in. And sorry I'm a bit late. We are almost getting ready for the interview with Neil De Beer of UIM. So get on. You can ask your questions if you want, and we'll go from there. Hello. Get on. Time is running. So, good afternoon. I'm slightly sunburned, by the way, since yesterday, and we're at the fabulous Beverly Hills Hotel, and we're in conversation with the UIM chief here, Neil De Beer. We can hear his version of politics in South Africa, where he stands, what his party stands for, and how we can learn from him, and where do we stand. Yeah. So I'm also learning as we go. We're going to be with him in about 2 to 3 minutes, as most of you guys come online. And we live in very interesting times. We've been having a short conversation just now as to where we stand. Been learning a lot about Neil, and of course he knows about. Yes, it's a bit noisy outside, but we'll get inside. I am outside at the moment, trying to get the viewers on. And then from there, let's go and have a look at the fabulous Beverly Hills Hotel inside. And then we go. You can ask your questions in between. We'll try and pick Neil's brain there and see where we go from there. Right, let's go in. You guys are late. Who's not late? We're going to move on. Next time I'll bring an umbrella for you. Right, there we go. Yeah, I got sunburned yesterday like you can't believe. Oh, by the way, I met the manager here, John of Beverly Hills Hotel, and he's a follower of mine, by the way. He's been following me, and we had a chat in the foyer there. Watches all my videos and all of that. So great stuff for Mr. John, who's the manager of the hotel here. Right, we're going to get to Neil. Don't say bad things, you like me, eh?
No, family is your mother.
You said mother, not me. Behave yourself, guys. I don't swear at all. Man. Right, here we are with you sit in the Royal Hotel. I'll sit in the Beverly Hills Hotel. Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
This is Jacques.
Good to see you.
Jacques is the last interview I know he's going to be the new Secretary General.
Yes, he's
Am
the
I right?
current CEO.
Yeah, so yeah.
He is.
Good looking guy. Are you taken?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so we're gonna put you up for auction just now and see what we can get out of you.
And now the telephones are just going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Okay? Absolutely.
So right, we have with us. Welcome to our platform, Mr. Neil De Beer.
Thank you, Casey.
First, you in Durban. Welcome to Durban. I know we're gonna suggest you a nice mutton curry, but I don't know why you want to have
Absolutely.
lamb curry and rice. You gotta have a bunny chow
Now I'm going to do the bunny chow.
with the fingers, eh?
But
No
on the
fork.
pavement,
No fork and knife.
sitting, nothing. There will be a picture of that.
All right, great.
There will be a picture.
Great, we must do that. We must do that.
Absolutely.
Right, Neil, first of all, I know time is limited.
Yeah.
Let's just give us an idea of UIM. What do you are? What do you stand for? Yeah, I had a couple of questions, but yeah, let's go with that on first. Take my other phones, yeah. So go, Neil.
Casey, I think firstly the United Independent Movement was started as a movement, like any other good thing that finds problems with other things. You start to share your sentiment. I mean, as I said in our precast, Casey, there's no one better that knows about capturing viewpoints and points of view. You create a platform like yourself to speak freely about things that trouble you, and if you find there's 100, 2,000 people, 3,000, and now 1 million that believe in what you're saying, then you start a movement. And the UIM has been a movement. It's grown because it stands for 4 things: crime, corruption, accountability of capital, and protecting the constitution of this country. And when I started speaking those words as a person that was in the struggle of this country, I just found more and more South Africans from every nation, every creed, and every demographic getting up and saying, at least I'm speaking. And then I got up and then I said, you know, there's a couple of fundamental things that are wrong in this country. We are not united. We should be independent in thinking. We should rise, and we should actually take our country back. And then we became a party last week, Wednesday.
So we interject every now and then. You don't
Sure,
mind.
go for it.
So,
And,
brief history.
yeah.
You spent time in Russia.
I did. I was one of those crazy revolutionaries that joined Umkhonto Wesizwe.
So you were an ANC man.
I was an ANC man. Absolutely. Well, I joined Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
I joined Madiba's vision, and in 1989 I joined MK in the armed struggle. And I'm an MK vet. I'm a person that.
So what was it like being in MK? Just educate me there.
Yeah.
Was it really soldiering? Was it really all the hard work, all the training?
Yeah. It was training because we were in the intelligence service. We were in something called in the ANC DIS, Department of Intelligence Services, and we were the guys that based the attacks. We were looking at the apartheid regime in breaking it in that sense, because, you know, Casey, for me it was never about black and white. It was about dignity. It was about giving the people in this country, no matter who they were, the dignity that they
So let me pose to you a hard question. Somebody asked me before I got to you.
Yeah.
They don't trust somebody like you as a mover. You were the NP, then
Yes.
you went to the ANC. Now you're trying to do this.
No, I was never in the NP, thank God.
Oh,
I think I was in school when
So
the
that's what
NP
he said.
was
His
a-
version was this
Yeah,
guy
sure.
was the NP,
Yeah.
then he's the ANC.
Yeah. So I can tell you one thing, Neil de Beer fights for justice. En ek sal jou hart op jou moer gee if you are injustice. So when I joined the apartheid regime in their scenario, it was propaganda and lies. And when
So you were never with the NP, that guy's talking shit.
No, he's talking absolute cuck.
Yeah,
because
so
at the
some
end of
guys
the
told
day-
me that as well. They
Yeah.
told me, they sent you running from a certain place. I said, oh, okay.
Not
I
at
didn't
all.
come running. I drove down. But anyway, wherever you got your information
Not
from.
at all. So I don't know who the
Getting-
hell.
you're
That
getting
guy's
your-
smoking
yeah.
Durban poison.
You're getting your
You know
information
what I mean?
done
Like 5
incorrectly.
kilograms of
Yeah.
weed. You know what I'm saying?
So UIM, what does it stand for?
United Independent Movement, Casey.
United,
And it's
yeah.
it's the new kid on the block. It's registered now, and Wednesday we were the latest national political party to be registered on the ballot in South Africa.
Okay, I'm going to move to this other question first.
Yeah.
A lot of people even say to me, why another party? Why don't you think it's fragmenting the scenario? There are so many political parties out there.
Yeah.
Does this not then divide the opposition
Yeah.
and just make the ANC stronger in that sense?
Well, case
So-
to divide an opposition, you've got to have one. And if you call the DA the opposition of this country, then I'm probably snuffing that same poison that other guys are snuffing, okay? There is no more opposition in this country. And after 27 years of politics, if this is the kind of opposition we've got, it's failed. So when people say another political entity, no. It's the real political entity that's coming right now, because currently the enemy of the people is the EFF. And they're a political party. So to get into a fight with them down the street is one thing, which I am. But secondly, beat them in parliament. Take them out of governance. And there is very few political parties in this country that has the guts and the absolute leadership that will get up and say, you are wrong, you're promoting domestic terrorism, you're violent, get out. And I'm here to meet them, piece by piece.
Question number coming through. I like these questions because obviously you'll answer it well.
Sure.
How do you know that this party is not going to go rogue like all the others?
Well, you never know. But one thing...
Well, I could have answered that first
Sure.
for you, but can I answer it first?
Yes,
for you?
go for it.
Well, same thing with me. I can't give you any guarantees. You only could know what I am. You can follow me only on my track record of what I've done.
Exactly.
And even that is no guarantee.
Exactly.
Right? But if you're following me and my platform, it's what you know for me for the past 10 years. I should have a track record
Absolutely.
that speaks what I am capable of.
Absolutely.
But I can't predict the future,
No.
and neither I think people can predict you. I think I would say that if I answered for you,
Yes.
they must believe in what you say now and trust that you will go through with it.
And you
because-
earned it, guys.
Yeah.
You've earned it. You've earned it. You've not been a turncoat. You've stuck to your guns. I will fight my conscience because, again, I find something wrong. and I've got to get up, and that's what we're doing in the UIM at the moment.
So you answered that question. Let's get straight into some other stuff here, important stuff. The recent unrest in this country, insurrection, criminality.
Yes.
Give us your view on that, the current unrest.
We saw a country die. We saw a rainbow nation. We saw a community. And we saw South Africans who happened to be of Indian descent being rock solidly attacked. And I said enough. What happened in our country? We are more racially divided, Casey, today than what we were pre-1994. The question was, when we started saying that the Indian population of this country, I said Indian population, no, South African population, that are of Indian descent, that were now taken and called racist. And I said to myself, the hell with that. Who's next? The South African Greek community, the South African Italian community. Casey, what you had in this country was a melting pot of a volcano, and it just happened to erupt in Phoenix. That's what happened. And in this country, we are trying to deviate what the real story is. And it's wrong.
So let's go to the real story. We started off with the Free Zuma campaign.
Yes.
We saw a couple of posters here and there, and then suddenly from the 12th, there was no poster saying Free Zuma.
Yeah.
It was everything else. What is that about?
Yeah. It was war. When you have on national television, now look, you've got to be like this, Case. You've got to be a moron if you don't listen to the people. We had people standing at Nkandla using the word war pre-Phoenix. We had Edward Zuma say this is war. We had people like Carl Niehaus saying that they will protect him with everything they've got. The insurrection ideology carried by people like the Dudizano Zumas that said you've got to loot in an organized fashion and ordentlik. So you moet die ou moer, maar jy moet hom ordentlik moer. Maar wees net nice. Where the hell did you have that? So this insurrection ideology, this building up of a problem in KZN didn't happen in Phoenix. It happened 3 weeks before Phoenix, and it happened when people on national television said violence is fine.
Okay, let's answer this guy's question and come back to that, right? Craig van Rensburg, I say, vraag vir hom why he left the ANC.
I left the ANC because the ANC has become rogue. It's become ugly. And if you belong to a rugby club and the president takes over the rugby club and changes the rules, your rules, I hope you're not going to stay. I hope that you're going to fight, or you're going to become a person fighting for your own rugby club. I've left the ANC because it's not Nelson Mandela's ANC anymore.
Do you, the unrest we saw once it started, there was very little response from government, almost no response from Becky Kelly and the Minister of Police. Do you think that is they were caught with their pants down, or do you think they deliberately didn't react?
No, I must tell you directly, Casey, being a person that comes from the security background, they were totally astonished. They were overrun. It's very clear to myself. There were very little. I mean, let me give you a scenario.
Okay, but if we say that from our sitting government, if you caught with your pants down, what does it say about your intelligence on the ground?
It says there's none. There is none.
That's the scary part.
There was clearly zero domestic intelligence services that were giving the information that this was going to erupt, in my opinion. And I'm still waiting to be proven wrong. But this comes from an admittance from the president. This was a method on record that SAPS, the intelligence services of this country, failed. And they are trying to recoup it now. But can I quickly tell you on that, you don't recoup by guns. You recoup by soul. You come fix a community by standing with a community. To come and threaten a community with more guns, more violence, it breaks society. We don't need more guns, Casey. We need more love in this country.
Yes, I think that's what... In fact, Julius Malema made a good point when he asked about, I don't know, you might agree or not agree, when he spoke about Zuma's power, and he says Cyril came to power, but you don't fix it by bringing the army in there. You're supposed to have these people come to the front and defend him as a president. Do you hear him say that?
Well, I did, but I also heard him say that all Indian people in this country...
Well, we know Zuma, we know he goes left and right.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I'm just picking on that.
Sure.
I'm just using that sentence there to say, listen...
But Casey, when you are a leader, You must be responsible.
Well, I don't think. Well, he's obviously we come to Julius Malema as a leader, but not a leader. You know, he leads it for himself.
No, he's a cabal.
Yeah, we'll. And every of us we have an Indian cabal, but he's not the cabal. Can we just talk quickly about this, the Zuma? How much influence do you think they're having in this insurrection and whatever the Duduzani's? Do you think Duduzani has presidential aspirations and then we lead into this faction? Is that the faction, the RET and the Cyril camp?
Yeah, it's like, my mother-in-law wanted to be a model, but it's just not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's just not built for it. So, certain people can walk around in this country and they can say that they want to be president, but if you've got an IQ of a peanut, you're going to struggle a little bit. So Dudi's honor is suave and Dudi can walk around and do the job. But you know what? This man comes from a relationship where he also said things that were wrong in leadership. Leadership is about telling the people that you speak on behalf of everybody. So you know what? Let Dudi's honor get up. But my point from Dudi is, Dudi, go Dudu. Okay, this is not your
But
place.
don't you then think that the mass of the people who live in informal settlements, abject poverty,
Yes.
poorly educated, don't you think like how Julius Malema speaks to those people and it resonates with them, that Duduzani Zuma can have a big audience speaking to those people?
Sure, but you know what? If I was Dudi's honor, I would like to know how much people that they uplifted in Nkandla. Why don't you start at home? So if I fly to Nkandla today, I'd like to know, what did the Zuma family do for the broader community? If I find poverty, Casey, if I find poverty in the Nkandla area today, yes, I'll be quite shocked because you have a 260 million rand home. So I hope that you build the roads, Dudi, because that's what it's about between you and I. Politics is there, we the people here. So when you have people that start to get up that are normal people around the table and you go, we are hurtful, we've had enough. I was in George the other day. And we are hurtful.
Neil, just give me a break here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on camera now, right?
Go.
Listen, guys. Listen carefully. I'm in conversation with Neil De Beer. I'm Karou Charou. If you don't like what's happening here and you don't like me and you don't like Neil, do us a favor, piss off. You shouldn't be here. You understand clearly? Don't be somewhere where you don't want to be. Go join another platform, go do something else. But yeah, if you want to listen to what's happening and you want to know what's happening, you want to learn, that's fine. Don't come with your stupid comments, your chut mari and sut mari commenting. We've got no time for that. We're listening, we're learning, we're educating. So let's move on. Just wasting our time talking to you and reacting to you. Yeah? We're having an adult conversation. If you want to do something else, go find somewhere else and spend your time there. Right? If you want to be here, you be here for the reasons you want to be here. Sorry, Neil, carry on.
Back from the ad break. Bye, Casey. Casey, I don't think, I was called yesterday, I was called the Donald Trump of South Africa. And I said to them, no, I'm the Neil De Beer of Stellenbosch. The problem we've got why people call me and you what they call us is because we don't lie. We give it to you as it is. Sorry, there's no sugarcoating. And at this current moment, this country has a serious problem, and that is we are tired of people lying to us. We are tired, we have fatigue. So at the end of the day, maybe we should bring truth back to politics. I know that in one sentence sounds horrific, but ethnic tribalism, national degradation of people that come from a certain demographic is not what this country is about. This country has a slogan that says,
Yeah.
and that means in Khoisan, it's on your coin, it's our national emblem. And it was put in Khoisan because it's the oldest language indigenously in this country, and very few people even know what your slogan is.
Sure.
Means unity in diversity. Eenheid in diversiteit. We recognized in our slogan when Mandela and them launched it that we are a diverse nation and we should stick together. So unity in diversity, and that's what the UIM has decided, Casey. We want to bring our rainbow color back, but at this moment the rainbow has gone black and white. It's not color anymore.
I'm moving off my question there, just on this one here. The DA has been criticized because it's a white man driving a white party. How do you see yourself infiltrating or your message resonating with the black population? Or
Well, I am black. I was raised in Umtata. Nomslanja programla kuskanzonzo. Usanetema ufaku tasha unyauza. And I am Nomslanja te tanzans. So I was born in Umtata. I was raised there in exile. So currently I'm probably a reverse coconut, Casey. You know what I'm saying? I'm like kind of white outside and black inside. What I am so sad about is that in this country we still talk about black and white. You know, a French radio station asked me and he said to me, do you really think that in 2024 there can be a white president? I said, right there you are wrong. Because in 30 years we have not done anything about racism. If that is so, if you talk about black and white, then I'm sorry, Casey, Project Mandela failed. Project Madiba failed. We did not get to the Rainbow Nation. And that's sad. And me and you don't want that. Me and you, we want our kids to wake up in a country where they look at the beauty of the country, not at the soul of race. And that's what I'm fighting for.
I'll give you one word. Phoenix Massacre.
Yes.
You talk.
Yeah. Maracana.
Yeah.
I think when we give names to stuff go wrong. When we say Phoenix Massacre, when we say Marikana, when we look at things like this, no doubt I can tell you one thing. There was failure, but the failure wasn't to put name and blogging onto race relation. The failure of this country was not to get up and know from leadership what's going on the ground. When this thing hit Phoenix, let me quickly tell you, no matter what, you and I will agree, all lives matter. Life matters. No one takes a life without thinking. So no one must condone taking life. But I want to know, what were the people going to do to protect their life and limb? When we did not have the reaction of SAPS, which they self-acknowledged, what were the people supposed to do?
So can we agree that at that point on the 12th of July, which I'll use 12th as the day, that the SAP and the law enforcement left the people of Phoenix and Chatsworth to their own devices?
But you saw it.
Yeah.
Casey, this is not my opinion. This is on television.
Yeah. No, I'm just in my conversation. I'm trying to educate them that what they don't seem to know, they were left to their own devices.
Now, can I give you a scenario? When I spoke to a police officer who I know here, I asked him what the hell happened, and he said, you know, Neil, when we went out there to go and help the community, we were stuck with a 9mm. Now listen here, don't go away now, Casey. This is interesting. You had a police van with 2 people in the police van get deployed to a looting scenario, and the only firearm they had on them was a 9mm pistol. Now, what did you expect the policeman to do? Shoot the guy for a television?
Yes.
He's not allowed to. So they were not given.
Which is what I said to the guys.
Here.
They said the police are standing watching them looting. I said, what do you expect the guy to do?
They
can't do anything.
So whoa, this is the failure then of management. This is a failure of planning in SAPS, that you don't have at station level the preparation of what we call non-lethal. In other words, shotgun, repellent, rubber bullet, stun gun, tear gas. But you send 2 constables to a macro or a game with a 9mm. And I'll tell you right now, those police officers will not fire on someone when it had to do about a television or a life. What do you call that? Well, that's a management failure. It's as simple as that. It's a management failure, and we failed the people.
And Neil, my version is obviously the guys, there were some incidents in Phoenix, people were obviously shot and whatever, right? So I'm going to give you my version and then you give me your version of this. I believe the failure of the state to provide protection for Phoenix put ordinary citizens on the street, right? And ordinary citizens, you will get a highly educated guy, a middle educated guy, non-educated guy. Then in my language, what my family will say, we get an absolute fucking idiot, chut, or the duas, right? Now, in a scenario at a roadblock, you will deal with one thing another way, and then the absolute duas will deal with it in another way,
sure,
right? You get a black guy coming there with a TV set, you might say, listen guy, give me the TV back and carry on your way or whatever. But the duas, who was in special class in school, remember we had special class for the duas here. Now he's going to deal with it in another, I'm making fun of it, but the idea is that we all deal with situations differently.
Totally.
Now the guy who decided to take out his firearm, shoot the guy, set his vehicle alight,
sure,
he shouldn't have been on the road in the first place.
Absolutely.
He should not have been on the road. He should not have had a hockey stick in his hand. He should not have had a gun in his hand.
Totally.
And he should not have been in that situation.
Sure.
But now we want to judge him,
sure,
for overreacting in a situation like
sure,
that. I think that's unfair.
Well, I can't put it better, because Casey, at the end of the day, you had people that were normal citizens,
yes,
and a couple of boxers, like you
yes,
say, walking around and being put into a situation that never in their life they should have been. Now, please, me and you must agree as humans, we will never condone it. If there was a massacre, if there was blatant murder and vigilantism of people doing like you said, let the law take its course and let the law find out not to do this again. But what we cannot do is we cannot sit back and now say that a community, a South African community, is now going to be ostracized and set aside and for the rest of their lives get into a position where we don't look after
an example I can use is that in the early days of the lockdown, when the SANDF was deployed, SANDF in Alex, if you remember, killed a black guy in his yard.
Sure.
And that shows that SANDF can't even deal with the public. They have no idea. They're not trained for the public. So how do you expect an ordinary citizen
to deal with
the public?
Sure. And Casey, what you and I can't do is go back in the past. What I want to know is what are we going to do for the future?
100%.
What are we doing? Because you know what? When they say the egg's cracked, Case, you only got a couple of choices, bro. And that is an omelette, scrambled or fried, or chuck it in the bin. But the egg's broken.
So what you're saying now, we've been there. We need to find the way out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what I don't want is I don't want the leadership of this country to come here, walk around in a mall, greet a couple of people that lost stuff, get onto an aeroplane, and leave. No. What you should be doing is coming back here, sitting with the communities, and heal them. Because currently this investigation of what is and what happened will happen. You know it will. And how it's being done, there will be cause and conflict on that as well. But here's the question I want to know. How do we bring back the community? How do we bring them back in love? How do we protect them? How do we involve them? And how do we secure them? Because that's what they want. They don't want anything else.
Can I ask you this? And this is what bothers me.
Yes.
With our Premier like Sihle Zikalala, in light of the ongoing hate towards the Indian community on social media and all of that, I feel Sihle Zikalala has failed to nullify the situation, bring it to order, or stop this so-called hate towards the Indian, which is on social media. It runs wild. I'm even getting it now on my platform.
Sure.
So I think government, Sihle Zikalala as a premier and government has failed to sort of bring, in fact he's fueled it in many, in fact I was to say he's fueled this racial tension narrative.
Well, you're right, Casey, but at the end of the day, you know, what we need to do is take ownership. Take ownership. As South Africans, this happened. You remember the Marikana incident where the police did what they did. We know these things happened. What we now need to do is we need to heal. I don't know if it's already too late. I don't believe it's too late because the spirit of South Africans are far beyond that. I mean, look at me and you talking. I say to you, I love your work. And the reason why is because you're saying it like it is. We don't have to always be politically correct when we address something so nasty. But we need to take ownership of this tragedy. We need to take ownership of what went wrong. And plain and simply what the people want is they want prosperity, they want protection, and they want to be a people again. That's it.
Can I just get your comment on the media in South Africa, mainstream media? We feel mainstream media is, we know we hear often captured. What's your take on mainstream media?
Bad news sells, guys. Yeah. Bad news sells. And if there's no bad news, you create the bad news. You know, we are so under COVID that we don't know how to get out of COVID. So not only have we been told that this thing kills, not only have we been told that this thing, you can't see it, we have been locked down, and then we have this tension. South Africans are at a breaking point, guys. And what we need is leadership right now. We need effective leadership. And if we don't get it...
So let me I know where you're going. Let me get you. So you made a good point, and I'm trying to do that as well now. Teach healing and teach going forward. Of course, the trolls will come on and keep talking about massacre and keep talking that, but it's not going to get us anywhere.
No.
And I'm glad you saying that to me as well.
It's not.
You were saying it now, but how do you suggest we move forward as a people, as a country, to heal and to get better and make things work?
Agree with me, we're doing it right now.
Yes, we are.
Me and you are doing it. And guess what? Me and you, so different within racial background, but so together in soul. Because that is where I'm with you. So currently we need to start, can I call it the dialogue of peace?
Yes.
The dialogue of peace in this country goes beyond just the South African Indian community. It goes further into the ethnic minorities. It goes into the people at this current moment that has always been ostracized. You know what, Casey? If we attack our South African beautiful Indian community, who's next? The South African Greek community, the South African Jewish community. We must stop this racial, and I blame the media for that. Sorry,
Okay,
the mainstream media fuels this.
Let's deal with this, which often comes up on my platform, right? Becky Mutwa is saying, which often the trolls come on, no matter what you say, but you're going to just address it again, right? He says, yeah, you're just trying to justify the wrongdoing of the people of Phoenix. They crossed the line, defending themselves, shooting, murdering, blah, blah, blah. That comes up often. It's the same thing over and over here. How would you answer him? Becky. So answer Becky directly. So Becky saying, yeah. You're trying to justify the wrongdoings.
Yeah.
I've got an answer. You give him an answer.
Yeah, so I think Becky is probably like Becky Tsele, who I call Becky Stoelkie Tafelkie, because you're all sitting down. Not once in this great conversation that me and you sit here and agree with murder. Not once did we agree with death. Not once did we sit here and say that lives don't matter. So Becky, utter rubbish. No one is justifying anything. If you have an IQ, EQ and AQ, and I don't know if you can buy it. I don't know. You can go to the spa to get some IQ. I'll try and give you some. Currently, as we sit here, we are in a position of wanting to look at what happened, not what is just happening. And you and I are concurring what went wrong must be sorted. But what are we going to do about tomorrow? Because tomorrow is where you and I live. And heaven forbid, Casey, you and I have kids, bro, that we know of. And let me quickly tell you, if we don't hand over this country to our children in the way we dreamed, then the past 30, 40-year dream is wrong. And Becky can go to a tafelkie and he can go get onto his stoelkie. If he doesn't get up on his ass and start working to bring back the love between our communities, we are a lost nation.
So someone also raised the point, and I said, I know we're going a bit backwards there, but obviously the haters just want to talk about the 20, 30 deaths in Phoenix as the massacre, right? But 300 and some odd deaths were started by a free Zuma campaign, and there are 300 and some odd deaths, but no one wants to talk about the holistic death though. They only want to concentrate on the Phoenix massacre because that's maybe suits a narrative, or suits that end result. But I think the people who started this drama have to be accountable for the 300 and some odd deaths because they killed them.
Casey, two things. I don't know. I'm going to introduce you. A great guy told me a couple of minutes ago. His name is Casey. You should meet him. Yeah? I don't. Do you know Casey? The man. There was a guy called Casey half an hour ago.
Yeah.
You know him? This dude said to me, you know, Neil, when I listen to people, it's just doom and gloom, bro. When's the good hope coming?
Yeah.
Because everybody, even you, Casey, get told about people that are currently organizing, structuring attacks again. And they're scared, man. Our people are scared, Casey. They fear. Who is bringing hope? Who's bringing the good news? That's why when I said...
So I just want to get in you there as well and say that from what I know, stats that I've got is in South Africa we're having 58 murders a day.
Yes.
Why is that not termed a massacre daily?
Well, it's a huge massacre. What about the farm murders in this country?
Why is there just
no focus on it? Because there is no government at the moment that is bringing good news and hope. I mean, you've got Frikkie, that sits there on his own train last week, his own train as Minister of Transport, and he says, you know, it's weird, this train isn't working. He's the Minister of Transport and he's saying that the train isn't working.
But why is it you think majority of South Africans or black South Africans who vote pro-ANC are not seeing what you and I are seeing? Why is it that? Why they don't see what you see? But because Fikile is really useless at every position he's been in. Becky Kelly is nowhere near a Minister of Police. Everybody that's there, I mean, look at our Minister of Defense that they're now taken out. Why was she even Minister of Defense? Why do you think it is that the general public, when I say African public, or the voting majority who vote the ANC in, just want to see Indians as the problem, somebody else as the problem?
Can I tell you what?
Yeah.
You want to know?
Yep.
After being nearly 30 years supporting freedom and 30 years dreaming that we would have a rainbow nation. It's become a nightmare because we are still stuck on the ideology of a liberation movement. We couldn't move from a liberation movement to a government. And every time that we get into these positions, we are reminded that the ANC liberated the country. And blind loyalty and the loyalty of the masses, even I struggled to get up and say, this is over. By the way, Casey, the king is naked and someone must say he's naked.
Yeah.
Because everybody's walking around and saying, no, he's not. He's in beautiful pants. Hy's kaal, man. Hy's kaal, he's naked. And it's time that we, the people, must get up and say, it's naked and let's do something about it.
Just to let you know, I was in conversation yesterday with a guy who contacted me via WhatsApp, right? Black guy, upset that his brother was killed in Phoenix, in fact, his own family member. And I engaged him and he asked me for my opinion on that. I called him. Within 15 minutes, he changed his entire mindset as to what he thought. Because I gave him the Indian mentality, where we come from, what's happening in the township. The same argument about being on the road with a gun when he shouldn't have been on the road. And suddenly he realized that what he was reading in the media, what he was seeing was so much different from what I had told him. And I had changed him. And he said, you've changed my mindset, you've changed my thinking about what I do. And he asked me, why did I call him? I said, I believe in the power of one. If I can change one person, I can change 2 people, I can change 10 people, I can change 100 people. If I can change your mind to make you see something.
Absolutely.
It took me 20 minutes of my time,
Sure.
or half an hour, but I felt it important that I could, because he was upset that Indian people were murdering his brothers in Phoenix, and he lives in Rudaport,
Sure.
and knows nothing what's happening in Phoenix on the ground. So I took the time to tell him that.
So when people ask me, what am I doing in the beautiful KZN? Casey, I'm here to find out for myself because I'm being told so many lies. So, the only way, I'm not here to score political points because that's a democratic right, and as you said, I'll earn my trust, I'll earn my respect. But what we can't do is speak of opinion, Casey. You want to know what happened here? Come here.
Come here and see it.
Find out.
Find out,
Spend
exactly.
some time. And
Exactly.
then speak the truth.
I think that's so important.
Absolutely.
To know. There is also an issue happening in a Welbedat informal settlement. A black child, 15 years old, is a child, was murdered, right?
Yes.
By an Indian.
Yes.
EFF marched to the courts, racial issue, blah, 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 right? But when I get to hear the story yesterday, Indian girl has an Indian boyfriend having an affair with a black guy, right? The Indian boyfriend finds out, reacts, his father reacts, and they kill the boy,
Yes.
right? But that could have happened in any demographic, any society, any country.
It
That's why is it now become an Indian and a black, whereas there's an scorned lover or a lady in a love triangle. And the surprising part to me is the EFF marched because the Indian killed a black, right? That's racism. But the Indian girl was sleeping with a black guy, and that shows social cohesion.
That's not racism.
That shows social cohesion to another level.
Yeah.
But they don't want to see that.
No,
I mean, in that informal settlement, that Indian girl can see the black guy as a normal person, as a human being, not a black guy.
Sure.
She wasn't having an affair with a black guy, she was having an affair with a guy
Sure. Who she loved.
who she loved. Why is that not seen in the context that it should be seen, but you want to see the guy who killed the other guy as an Indian on a black? I just don't see the...
So here's the thing. They asked Morgan Freeman, how will we stop racism between black and white? And Morgan Freeman said, stop calling them
Yes,
black and white.
100%. I knew the
If
answer.
we don't start saying to each other, you're a human, I'm a human, you get bad ones and you get good ones in every race.
And isn't that where the news, mainstream media is
They
failing?
want it.
Like 7 they keep saying black and white when it suits them, Indian.
Sure. So let me tell you.
Because the only time we can stop racism, if we stop saying
Stop
black
saying
and
it.
white.
So here's the thing, Casey. Everybody's now saying Neil De Beer and the UIM has made Julius Malema my main target. And I'm the one that fights him and I'm going, I know him. I know him as a person. No, don't be shocked.
Yeah.
Julius is quite an intellectual human being.
I've said that many
I'm
times.
telling you now. I know him.
I've said that many times when people tell me he's an idiot. I said he's not an idiot.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And he wants you probably to think so.
Yep.
It's like that snake that turns on to the side and acts dead until you stand on him. I have a major problem as a politician, not against the person, but against what he says, and against what he provokes, and against that people, I won't use the same words, but will die boxer waarvan jy praat. He speaks to a demographic that currently wants to have nationalization of the Reserve Bank, of the land, and has no idea that economically it's genocide in our lives.
Has nationalization and socialism
Never.
in the entire... You answered my question before I can answer it.
It's never worked.
Has it ever worked?
Never.
In entire world?
No,
Never.
it hasn't.
Nowhere.
It's like communism, Casey. Communism is a great theory. It's like BEE.
Sounds great.
It sounds great. It sounds
Yeah.
like a nice Ford Mustang that we can polish every Tuesday, but it's got an old cold engine, my brother. So when you want to do the drag, you're going to get left behind. So I say, I am not fighting the EFF. I'm fighting a personal group that has no idea that they actually calling one settler, one bullet, one Indian, one bullet from his ex-members of management. You're going to allow that?
Can I say that Julius Malema has the potential to be a great leader?
Undoubtedly.
Would you agree?
And
I've said that many times.
Absolutely.
I've said that many times.
Because if you know him, you'd understand the thought process. But his nationalistic, liberal ideology is not going to happen. Because we have moved upon that. We have moved beyond that. And I'm saying, you and I, we were debating it, Case. Me and you are good leaders. But we are leaders because what we've done is we've got up and we've spoken the truth. And if we're going to stop saying that a spade is a spade and not an agricultural implement, stop calling it that. It's a spade. And what I've done here is I've come here and I've come to see it for myself.
You think Julius Malema will go back to the ANC?
If he doesn't, then everything I've heard, everything we think and everything that sells a tell sign is wrong. Because it is about government. It's about taking over government.
And Julius can't do it with the EFF.
No, he cannot, because he's already burnt the brand.
Yeah. So that's what I've always believed. I believe that his leadership will only come through if he's back within the fold of the ANC.
And you know who said it? Winnie Mandela.
Is it?
Winnie Mandela said that Cyril and Julius must make up and that they should work together. It's public.
Sure.
It was said so.
Yeah.
And what you've got is you've got these massive divides in this country. And the question is, who speaks for Phoenix? Who? Who today speaks for this community of South African Indians? But can I go forward? Who speaks for the South African colored community? Who speaks for the South African Griqua community, Casey? We forgot that there are nations in nations, and every nation has a leadership. Every nation has a culture, and that's why it's called Casey. We come from different cultures, but we are united in this republic.
So answer me something. I formed a lobby group called NICSA, National Indian Congress of South Africa.
Yes.
In the context of South Africa, and I speak for Indian rights or Indian culture, that's predominantly to do with my community. Am I being anti-South African if I promote my culture, my language, my feelings, and my because many people said to me, I'm going against the grain of South Africa.
You're not, because the Afrikaners do the
Don't
same.
just suck my ass here, Neil. Just to be honest.
No. I think they would have been responsible in that sucking. But
So
you promised me. You promised me a very good answer.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. No.
I've been said that
Yes.
you'll know you being anti-South African.
No, you're not.
You mean to be part of South Africa.
But you are. But do you think the Afrikaner people of this country are also not wanting their own defense of their culture, their history? Are they being now Dutch? No. Can I tell you, the Zulu nation, the Zulus fight for their culture, the Ndebele's. But what we're trying to do is, you know what happened, Casey? Can I tell you what happened? This country never reconciled. We never reconciled. We had the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. We got the truth, yes. We never reconciled.
I think you're on point there.
We never did. Did we have reconciliation? Do you remember me and you being called in a town hall after 94 and being asked to have it out? Speak to each other in the South African Indian community, the colored community, the Chinese, the Afrikaner white. When did we do that? We didn't. A flag came down a flag came up, and everybody thought in this country that we will just get on with it.
Kumbaya.
Well, guess what?
Everyone's saying Kumbaya.
Phoenix.
Everything was right. Yeah.
We never sat around that fire. We never.
And
said
I
to
think
each
Phoenix
other,
is showing. Phoenix is
It's showing that mistake.
Phoenix is showing that mistake.
No, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Because I don't know your culture. I don't understand how you breathe. I don't. And if I did, I might have been more sensitive, Casey.
Yes.
Then I would have not done just something out of sporadic scenario. The black people of this country, the Indian people, the Chinese, the Afrikaans, let me quickly tell you, me and you, we love each other. Me and you, we can sit around this table until tonight. It's the politicians in this country and the media, sorry, some of them, that don't want me and you to get on.
And that's the message we just spread out.
Sure.
Where the politicians are trying to divide us and get us.
Because it
fight.
serves their purpose.
Because everywhere you go, as you will go to Phoenix on the streets yourself,
Sure.
tell them take you around the Phoenix Plaza, the shopping centers. You will see the vendors there for years. Black vendors have been dissing. So also we'll come back to the racism issue. I mean, 12th of July, racists came out to play. 13th of July, they're back to normal. That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
If you're a racist, you're a racist. It'll come out in every aspect of your life.
And aren't we tired? Aren't we tired as a country of continually having to live in this racial divide? You know, it's like saying that the South African Indian community did not add one block of value in the history of this country.
And just tell my Indian people watching from Phoenix and wherever that they felt that the EFF was going to come and do some damage in the town. My old take on that was the EFF has little or no support in Phoenix by the mere fact that they bus in people from all over to get that march going. And while the black people stood and took videos from outside watching these people march, whereas the EFF had little or no support in Phoenix.
No, but what we cannot allow is again on that day of the EFF's march to Phoenix, they broke the law.
Of course they did.
No, they broke it.
Yes.
So can you imagine a guy like me and a guy like you? We get a couple of friends, and we come with 2,000 motorbikers and some dudes that we know. You know what I mean? And we march down the road. We'll be arrested.
No, it happened.
You'll get arrested.
It happened 2 days later. The police went to raid a house in Phoenix.
Sure.
There were about 10 guys on the road,
Yes.
and the police told them it's illegal gathering.
Yeah, sure.
They're going to arrest them for an illegal gathering.
But the EFF can have 2,000.
Yes, 2,000, and there's no.
So agree with me, because I'm just talking the law. The problem now is we need law, because law brings order.
Yes.
So yes, we are, again, I'll say that's my message, Casey.
I think
what's wrong is wrong and right is right.
I think what you're saying about the law goes back to what Professor Adam Habib was saying. He said the same thing. If you don't have law,
There's no order.
nothing can come after that.
Nothing.
You have to have law first.
Nothing. And agree, if you don't have law, there is no economy.
Yes, that's
if
what
there's
he
no
went.
law, there's no civil society.
Yes.
And if there's no law, there is no peace and harmony in your heart.
No, he mentioned he went backstage to the security system and the law. Yeah.
Every day, being now a person that is the president of a national political party, I'm not ignorant. I've got my history. You've got your history. But our kids have the better history that we can bring them, Casey. We can bring them. But how would you like a community that gets told every morning via WhatsApp they're going to get attacked this afternoon? How do you live? How do you breathe?
Well, that's a story that most media houses don't want to say. I will do that through my own videos on my own platform to educate others that the Indian community has been, prior to 12th of July, were hit twice in the 160 years history, attacked by the African community. And then there's another one coming up, and then you get constant WhatsApp messages telling you we're coming after you, we're coming for you, and yet you expect them to be as calm as anything and handle it in a certain way. I think that story has not been told; it's never being told, and we but as much as
Casey, are you a violent man?
oh no, not at all.
No, do you believe in violence?
No. I tell you honestly, and I said this on my live, when I was on the street at 1 o'clock in the morning and I had gunshots down the road, I was shivering.
Yes.
I was shivering, because I was scared. I was
The principle
afraid.
of Casey is not violent.
No.
Neither me. I want to continue with my business and raise my kids. But how do you do it in a society where leaders, like Julius, can speak violence? And they are members of parliament. They took an oath to protect, serve the constitution of this republic. You can't choose when you want to defend it, Casey. You must defend it at all time. That's why I took my action to ask that the Speaker of Parliament charges Julius with breaching his oath of office. Because if me and you, heaven forbid, get into Parliament, we will be who we are, but we will not dare break the Constitution.
Neil, time is running out. Thank you so much. I want to end with this. Give me your 23rd of August going onwards in regards of Cyril Ramaphosa being removed from office, coup d'etat, things happening in our country. What do we need to fear? What's happening? What do you see going forward? You've seen the messages about the 23rd of August going forward. If there's any words of comfort or reality, what advice would you give to the people listening?
Three things. One of the biggest enemies we've got today is social media. Although we think social media is good, yes it is, but it is also a very bad thing. Don't react on social media until you haven't seen its fact. Don't fear. Find out. Number two, no matter what happens in this country, normal people in the street will not allow this country to fall apart, no matter what happens. And thirdly, like it or not, right now we are a constitutional republic with a government, like it or not, and with a president in place. And if we have decided, Casey, that we are going to stay a democratic state, then what we must do is get the law and order back in this country and change this government. And the way to change this government is never ever again to go back to the ballot box and vote in the same thing. And if that's not going to happen, I'm now announcing it on your program first, live, that if this does not happen, that if there's no law and order in this country, and if there is no protection of the constitutional right and protecting the state, then I am going to tell you that the UIM undoubtedly will seek for a referendum in this country to ensure that the change of state and that the elections of this country do not wait for the 2024 scenario, that we will ask this country to go to early elections.
A word of to my people in Phoenix and Chatsworth who are afraid they're going to get hit and attacked and whatever. What's your advice to them? Because there's obviously still the WhatsApp messages going around that they're going to be attacked. People are arming themselves with guns. I have my answer for it. I've given you some of it. You give them some.
I'll give you the answer. The answer is exactly the brilliance of your answer. Look at your home first. Look at your community first. Protect the essence of your village. Make sure that you take responsibility, ownership of getting your neighborhood watches done, getting your community watches on the ground. Take ownership, because if you're going to wait for the police, if you're going to wait for the army to repetitively come, we saw what happens. Now, it doesn't mean that you arm yourself again, that you create vigilantism or a militia. No, what it means is you patrol your community.
Yes, indeed.
Make your community safe first, because Casey, jy weet, you know who must be in your street
of course,
or not.
Yes.
So vigilance.
So we should start with a simple thing like a street
Start
group,
at home.
neighborhood watch.
Start at home.
And that's what I've been saying to my people.
Start
If
at
you
home.
take control of your neighborhood,
Yes.
no one's coming to attack
But if
you.
you take control of your neighborhood, you take control of your community,
Yes.
you can take control of your city, and then maybe we can take control of our country in the right manner.
There you
That's
go.
it. And sorry, maybe a guy like Becky should get off his Becky, move to a Stulky, and then get his attitude right. Because sitting on your ass and talking absolutely balderdash to us that's trying to change the country, you know, there's a Chinese saying, talking about boiling the rice never boils the rice.
Yeah.
So maybe we should get up from our backsides, Casey, join the debate, join the discussion, and maybe heal the country.
That's what I've been saying to guys. Stop talking, start getting out,
Absolutely.
stop complaining.
Absolutely.
Neil, thank you so much, the UIM. Welcome
Thank
to
you
Durban.
so much.
That's Jacques. Jacques is single, by the way, so you can send send your bid in, and it'll go straight to the UIM as part of the funding. We can use that there. You can donate it there.
He needs a PR agent. I think he found one.
Right, guys. Too much to discuss. We can't discuss all of that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to all the guys watching from all over the world. We hope it was insightful. You can share it on your platforms. And thank you to Neil and De Beer. It was great. I'm here to learn every day. I don't know it all. I want to find out for myself, and I hope you've been educated in many ways to make your informed decisions in the months to come. But on the end, on Neil's point there, which we were discussing earlier on, where I got a frantic call from a lady in Phoenix worried about WhatsApp messages going around. There's nothing to fear. Take control of your neighborhood, become vigilant, and get off your ass. Neil said what I'm saying. Get off your ass. Stop relying on the police. Stop relying on other people. Take control of your road firstly. Get a WhatsApp group going. Get a neighborhood watch going. Because if you are in control and you have your neighborhood under control, nobody is coming to attack your neighborhood and your family. And that doesn't mean, like Neil said, you take up arms. Protecting yourself doesn't mean going out and taking arms. You're protecting yourself for anybody who shouldn't be in your community, walking on the streets late in the night for no good reason. That's all you need to do. If we start there, we build a neighborhood, we build a city, and we protect the country. That's how we take control. Simple as that. Let's not call for the army from India, when they're going to come. We can sort the matter out right here. Guys, thanks for watching, and we'll be good. Remember to always keep it mother. The name is Karou, KC. I'm out.